What's up, everybody? Welcome to the shop. Tonight, we're going to turn this giant chunk of walnut into a beautiful little jewelry box. So stay tuned. Feel free to ask questions. We'll get her done. Anyway, here's how it's starting out. It's a big chunk of walnut I glued together last week. Let's get started. All right, guys, I'm going to point you guys towards the bandsaw. Real quick here. That work? Hey, what's up, man? Right on, I appreciate that. Tonight we're gonna make a jewelry box out of this chunk of walnut. Harry, what's happening, dude? So I was just cutting the Lion. What's up, brother? I was just cutting the sides off this just to make a nice square block of walnut, and then we're gonna turn this into a jewelry box. So my next move is going to be, first of all, figure out which side I like as the face, and I think it's that one. And I might add a little more shape to the side so it's not just a square block. And then I'm going to cut the top off of it, and that's going to be a separate compartment that gets glued back on, and then we'll put a drawer in there. But first, actually I think first I'm going to cut the top off of it and set that aside. Dude, it's a solid chunk. It started off as one block of walnut, and then I glued it together. It's like sawed it up and then glued it together. So I do like to just kind of mark everything, dude. Put little like marks everywhere so that I don't forget which direction and where pieces go, because I've forgotten a bunch of times doing these. So it's just easier for me to mark it. First, actually, I'm going to shape the sides a little bit so they're not perfectly square. Let me look at this thing. I like a little bit more organic shape for these. Yes, too square, dude. Yo, Gene, what's up? So now we've got more organic of a shape. I like it to have a little bit more character than just a square block, you know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut off the top piece, because this is going to be a separate box that gets reattached to this later. Hey, Harry, the hand's starting to feel a little better, but I did go over to my friend's property yesterday, and in my search for wood, which I didn't find anything really good that I could use for spoon making over there, but I did help them like clear some trails and put in some work over there, which did tire out my hand a little. Oh no, it's better, dude. I can like do a full-on, you know, grip now. Getting a little better. I just have to remember to stop working when it starts hurting and like starts giving me signs, you know. Okay, so now I've cut the back off, and I'm gonna mark. I like to do a little line, couple of little lines just for lining it up later. And I'm gonna mark that this is the back and up. Even though it's obvious, I still mark it, dude, because I could forget, you know? Just trying to outsmart myself. So now that the back is cut off, all right, I can cut out the drawer. And because I'm happy to show you, bro, and because I'm gluing this piece back on, and it's going to be a solid chunk. What happened there? Oh yeah, the back's off. that means that I can come in here and cut the drawer from here. So, and then when I glue this back on, that'll be the top of the drawer. Yeah. Oh, about time, Harry. So I'm going to try to make this drawer something like this, right? And I'm going to try to not to make it symmetrical, believe it or not, because I like them when they're a little bit off. You know, it looks more organic to me. Like if I wanted to make a perfectly straight jewelry box, I wouldn't do it bandsaw style. I would like cut it out and make a perfect box. But the bandsaw style, I like to get a little more organic looking. All right, so this Yo, what up, Mr. Bubba Johnson? So this is going to be the drawer, and I have to remember what is what on the drawer. So yeah, so I'm going to put a little F here with an arrow up so I know that that's the front. And I'm going to put a little B here with the arrow up so that I know that's the back. And now I am going to cut out the inside. Wait a second, no. I'm going to cut the front and the back off this drawer assembly. So I'm going to cut the front and the back off this drawer assembly, and then I'll get back to you. I'm going to remember to mark underneath when I cut the drawer off. And also do that here. It might seem redundant to be marking all this, especially when it's quite obvious how it goes back together, dude. But I found that just by getting in the habit of marking where the pieces go, like I'm gonna have to re-glue and clamp this guy. But if you get in the habit of doing that, it just makes it harder to make mistakes when you're putting shit back together. So yeah, this glue up's coming undone here. Once I cut the inside of the drawer out, I'm going to just clamp this back together. Here's a nice little chunk that could be made into something later on, a little tray or something. Yeah, let's make this a nice and chunky. But yeah, can see the glue. The glue up didn't work there, so I'm gonna try it again. But this will be the drawer. Yeah, true. This will be the drawer. So this will all get glued and clamped back together, and that'll be the drawer. And it will slide back into here. Oh yeah, and then we have to make another box, and this box is going to get glued back on top. But this is going to be a slightly different kind of box. Yeah, it's true. Numbering it means, or marking it. Also, like right before Christmas, I had to do that show where I had to make like 30 of these, and I had 2 weeks to do it. So like I had stuff in different stages, just marking it's better. So for this box, I'm just going to cut the top off here, right? And I'm going to cut the bottom off. Then I'm going to cut out the inside of the remaining piece. And then I'm going to glue it all back together so that the top, so when this gets glued back together on top of the jewelry box, this will have a lid that comes off like that. And then it'll have a drawer. Yeah, they seem hard to do, but they're really not, dude. All you need is a bandsaw and just follow the steps, which if you forget a step, you're fucked. And I've done that so many times live, but yeah, once you know the way, dude, they're easy.
So there's our lid.
That's going to be our lid for the top box. And now we got to cut a little slice off of here. I need to mark this again. And mark it again. So for this one, to get that center hole cut, I am going to, just gonna put a little, I like to like put these little lineup marks like this. I'm just gonna get sanded anyway, so it just makes it easier to put it together. So for this one, I'm gonna come in here from the side and cut out this inside. All right, so we had it break apart right here. That's no problem. We can just glue that back together. We have fixed worse over here, dudes. Much worse. When I'm cutting a round piece, when I'm cutting a slice of something round on this, even a big one like this, it's got those round edges. I like to use a clamp so that the blade doesn't grab it and pull it down and try to twist it, because the last time that happened, I had thought for a second that perhaps I had chopped my finger off, dude. So I just like to use a clamp. And I'm gonna get a smaller slice too, just to see if maybe I like that better. All right, guys, I'm going to switch you over to benchtop view. There we go. Yeah, Lions, I went over to my buddy's property yesterday and hiked around and looked for some wood that would be good for spoons, but didn't really find any good green wood that I could use. So one of these little chunks will get glued to the top for putting it down on top of the. But first we have to fix a couple things here. And while I'm gluing it, I don't need to wear all that shit. How does that look? And I'm going to use CA glue. This is a thick CA glue. Okay, I should have only done one seam at a time. I can hold this for like 30 seconds. Lion, you streaming tomorrow, dude? Because I got work tomorrow and I will watch that. you talking about the CA glue? Huh, I didn't know that. You did wet it with water? I'm gonna let this guy sit. And let's get this guy figured out. I'm loving how you got the sapwood kind of partially coming through the drawer. That looks cool to me. Yeah, I have some of that activator. That like instant activator stuff. I'm actually going to use that activator to harden off all this stuff on the outside so it doesn't drip. out of the way for now. This one's going to need a... Oh yeah, big time. That one needs sawdust, which I have right here. Oh, I didn't know that either, dude. I always figured like it was hidden inside the joint. I didn't know it like traveled through the substance. So there's kind of what we're looking at. And then the drawer goes here, and then we'll have the little thing there. I do have some obsidian over here to use as the, obviously I'm not going to use this giant chunk, but, or maybe I will. That looks sick. This will be the, for pulling the lid. And then one of these is going to get, one of these will be glued onto this lid. So does that definitely go like that, right? Yeah. Okay. Wait a second. Okay. All right on, Gene. Dude, I do have a good beard, but I am not one of the best woodworkers. I'm just a dude. But the beard comes simply from the fact that I don't want to shave. So that's where that's coming from. Now I'm wondering if maybe I should cut a thinner slice for this box here, dude. Now that leaves plenty of gap there. Okay. So now I'm going to put this back together like that. And I'm going to put glue on this side of this and then drop it down in there. And it'll go exactly where it needs to be. So then you just put the glue on there, you can drop it down in there, and now it's right where it needs to go. We'll put one of these quick clamps on it. Set that over there. Grab the drawer. So it was super cold when I did the glue up on this one, and I'm thinking that's why there was those couple of failure points in between the boards. It was from the glue up. So we're going to repair that now as we go. It did get nice and warm here today, dude. I think it got up into the 50s, 55 maybe. There's our drawer. Definitely going to take this to the belt sander to get some of this glue off, but it is sturdy. Nice, good sized drawer. Should slide in here. That's the back. Should slide in here like this. Then this that'll be glued on. I'll have the lid. We'll have the lid. Wait. Then we'll have the lid. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a good one. the next step. We need to glue this on. Wait, no. We have to glue the back on. Yes. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah. I have to get ready for, I'm going to be doing a show with the Higher Artisan Market people again in Napa, California, Sunday, January 18th at a place called Juniper Station in Napa. We're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll have a table there with some of my boxes and a couple other things that I got laying around that I've made. I don't think I'm going to have time to like practice the spoons because I wasn't able to find greenwood. That's kind of what I wanted to do with some greenwood spoons and do the method that I learned from Lion. But yeah, it should be a good show. I get sidetracked. It should be a good show. There's going to be many other very, very highly skilled, cool, unique makers there. There's going to be this woman Amy that does these like next level tie-dye designs, and she does like all kinds of stuff. And then there's gonna be I want to say it's called JH Resin Designs or something. It's gonna be a resin artist, 3D printer there. There's gonna be there's cool. There's this Emma's Wares is gonna be there, I believe, and she does like stuff with like jewelry with animal bones and stuff like that. Very cool stuff. I picked up a necklace off of her last time that was like some like deer bones and moss and stuff in a little vial. Very cool shit. So yeah, it's gonna be a good show, man. If you guys are around the Napa, California area next weekend, cruise on through. Say what's up. It is a bit of a drive for me, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm looking forward to it, dude. It'll be my second show with these guys, and my second show entirely. Ooh, Southwest. That's a little far to go for a craft show. It's my second show with this collective, and they were very cool, dude. I was really stoked last time. I had a fantastic time. Yeah. Lynn, what's happening? Do a little on this one. Go to the bottom on this. That's not the way. That is sort of the way, dude. Why does that look fucked off? Oh, because I had to cut and move it. Oh, there it is. That's right, I put those lines on there. Oh, that's fine. good. How many years have you not stolen for something like this? Man, I gotta be honest, I'm not quite sure how to take that question, bud. Yeah, I don't know. That might be a translation error, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Some kind of translation error. Oh, shit. That's got to be a translation error. You can also totally do these with the with like the tight bond wood glue or whatever. It just takes so long for that stuff to dry that it's hard to like. You're not able to like make one of these on a stream, you know. Dude, top of my head's almost bald. That's crazy. Anyway, so I use the CA glue when I want to get one like done in one night so that you guys can see how it's done or whatever. That's why I'm using the CA glue on these. Otherwise, I would use the wood glue, which would mean like all these clamping stages would like be overnight for those. But it's also easier to get off your fingers. I could get that CA glue on my fingers and I can't unlock my phone. I'm gonna put an additional clamp right there in the middle. Hung out with a couple friends yesterday, man, over on their property, and just it was good times, dude. Just like hanging out in the woods, a couple of friends doing stuff, you know, clearing trees and clearing the path or whatever, and it was good, dude. It was a good time. Do good enough there. Kevin England in the house. What's happening? No, Lions, I did not. I did not find anything that would have been good for spoons. I did cut like a Doug fir out of the path that was like this big around, but I don't think Douglas fir is a really good one for making spoons or whatever, so I didn't take any chunks of it. And other than that, no, I didn't score any greenwood yesterday, dude. So kind of bummed because I was looking forward to working on that this week. I go back to work tomorrow morning, so yeah, kind of bummed about that. But they just wasn't the right. Yeah, so over there, that property, it's like pretty much wild land, and so there is manzanita, which is really small, and then there's a lot of Douglas fir. There's ponderosa pines. There's sugar pines. A lot of conifers. I didn't find any like madrone. I would have loved to carve a spoon out of madrone, dude. I'm still on the hunt for that. And oh, it's stringy. Yeah, I don't think it's a good one. And then like I don't think it would make a good spoon. Like it would just, it's hella soft wood, and I just think it would be a shitty spoon, wouldn't it? Yeah, I've been keeping my eyes peeled. Like I live in the mountains, so I've been keeping my eyes peeled on the side of the road, dude. Like looking for something down or whatever, and I'm keeping my handsaw on the truck, so if I have to, I'll jump out of the truck on the side of the road and snatch a piece up. Let's see here. Where are we? But yeah, I'm actually super excited for the making the spoons thing, dude. You know what I found too when I was chopping stuff yesterday? That I actually like prefer the machete over the hatchet. So I might actually like the machete better for the spoon making than the hatchet, I think. What's up, hackers? I don't know, maybe it's just because I got so much more experience with the machete. It just feels more natural. Dude, I don't have enough clamps, bro. I need more clamps. So if anybody wants to send me clamps, feel free. Preferably around this size clamp. Kind of worried about the sanding part of this one, dude, because of my hand, but we'll see. See how it goes. Yeah, I just feel like more comfortable with the machete, I think, just because like back when I used to be a landscaper for years, I used a machete a lot, so feels more natural. Mike England, what's happening? Oh, Mike Langland, not England, Langland. So I'm not sure what's going on with my hand, dude, but like I think it's because I was using the orbital sander for like hours at a time for a couple of months there, and I think it was sending like high frequency vibrations into my hands, and it like fucked my nerves up or something. And now it's like I can feel it coming from the elbow, and then I wake up and my fingers are numb. And if I start doing too much, my fingers go numb. So I'm just trying to heal it up, you know? Trying to heal it up while at the same time get stuff done, you know? So I'm definitely, there's not going to be any more like 2 bandsaw boxes completed from scratch in one night episodes, you know? Not for a while anyway, dude. Like I got to make sure that this doesn't turn into like a long-term injury, so just take it easy, you know? Yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah, it's like, it's unpleasant for sure. So, once, of course, this needs to get sanded, but once this all gets sanded and glued back together, oh, and I'll also end up gluing a little, I like to glue a thin little slice onto the back so that when you put it back together, the drawer sits out a little bit, like, you know, just a tiniest little bit like that. So if you glue a little slice onto the back down here, then that makes the drawer stick out a little bit. The top part, okay. So the top part was 1 block. We'll do it from a back view. So the top part was this 1 block, right? We cut it off. And then so we had the 1 block. So then we cut the bottom of the box off and the top of the box off. And then once the bottom of the top are cut off, we came in here with the bandsaw and cut out the inside. Once the inside's cut off, there was the big chunk of wood from the inside. And we just cut off a little slice of it and glued it on for the lid. And then glue it back to, then glue the bottom back on. And then eventually we're going to end up gluing. This will be like this. And then all this will look way nicer. This is going to all get sanded and shit. Yeah, it's just like a, you just have to remember the steps. It's easy if you just remember the steps. And I also glued, damn. I glued this a little too far back, I think. So I'm going to take some of that off. Take like a little butt hair of this off. Yeah, so you gotta, if you can get the glue, or if you can get the line, obviously this is gonna be a hard one to cover with sanding or whatever in this one. But this vertical one won't, because that's the way the grain goes, you know. This is gonna be a hard one to hide, but enough sanding to look all right. You just try to cut in with the grain, like so. This one cut in with the grain, you know. Oh, excuse me. Hey Gene, we'll see you next time, brother. The bandsaw was a game changer. I basically got the bandsaw to make these boxes, dude. I like always wanted to make one of these boxes, so that's why I got the bandsaw. But turns out the bandsaw is really good for a lot of other shit. So I recommend getting the bandsaw if you can. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about that the other day with somebody about how many different sub disciplines there are within woodworking. You know, you got those dudes that like all they do is they make pens, and then you got dudes that, you know, they all they do is they make like wood turning shit, you know, like bowls or whatever, and then yeah, there's like all kind of little sub disciplines within it that all have, you know, slightly different tooling or whatever. Normally I don't have to take this step, but I kind of glued this on wrong, or in the wrong position, so. Getting better, a little better. Oh no, that chunked it. That Amy came in. Yeah, she's come through, and I've checked out her channel. I'm sub to her. She told me about the spoon challenge. I was trying to like get there, but I didn't. I have like some shit like this that I've made, you know, but nothing that I feel is competition worthy. Yeah, chainsaw spoon. I'd like to see that. I should probably go check out her page. It's a whole nother discipline of like woodworker too. You got the chainsaw art dudes, you know. Dang. That might be close. That might be close here. Dude, normally I don't have this extra step here, man, but I glued my thing in a little wrong, and I'm just trying to get it. I'm just trying to get it right so that it sets right, you know. Yeah, dude. The woodworking community is cool, dude. You got a nice little community that you've built over there too, man. Like everybody's real friendly and shit, polite, not trolls, you know. Oh, it's getting close to fitting, dude. Yo, what up, Mike? Yeah, man, I really enjoyed your live stream, Lion. It's cool, dude. For anybody that's watching doesn't know Lion, dude, he does a good live stream over there. Let's go hit him up, dude. Yeah, you're a good teacher, dude. It was a great stream. I had a good time. I was getting irritated at work, dude, with like people bothering me at work and shit because of it. I'm trying to do something here, guys. But I took notes, man. I got a couple pages of notes that are in my truck, ready for when I finally get a little piece of greenwood I can work with. Where am I catching here? I took last night off. Oh, nice, dude. I still took notes, dude. I still took notes. But I took last night off, and it was the first night I took off from streaming in like 2 months since I started trying to grow my channel. And I just needed to take the night off, man. I was starting to feel burnt out, and it was starting to feel like I was streaming because I had to. I was like making myself do it, and then I'm like, this is the wrong reason to be doing something. So I took the night off, dude. And after taking the night off today, I was like, man, I can't wait to stream. So tonight I'm streaming because I want to. Dude, that is so close, man. Come on. Yeah, I have a tendency to like go super fucking hard at shit, and I should take it easier, I think. Yo, so the fire stream was my favorite stream that I've ever done. And it had a fraction of I think it had 140 viewers, right? 140 views, so a tiny fraction of my normal views, but it was the most fun. It was the most fun stream I've done. We just hung out, and I got a copyright strike against me for that one for playing guitar. Apparently you can't play cover songs on YouTube, or they will copyright strike you. So shout out to that band for clamping down on my fireside fun. But that was by far my favorite stream ever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Harry. All right, that should do it. I'm thinking that should totally do it. What's going on here, man? What is going on here? That's fine. That's good enough. Okay, so now it is time to glue this one to that one. Before we do, let's get this glue off right here, dude. No, it wasn't the Master Puppets cover. It was the fucking who does that song? Obviously I can't sing it because they'll copyright strike me, but the song's by Camp. It's called By and By, and they're the ones that copyright struck me on that video for playing a cover by a campfire. Like, okay, so yeah, you would think it would have been Metallica for the copyright strike, right? It would have been fucking Lars over there. What are you doing? What are you doing playing our stuff? Is that going to glue tight? That's my question here. That looks good. Okay. Actually, dude, let's do this one. How many of you guys talk to yourselves out loud while you're working? fingers are starting to go out. Hey, it's all right. It's all right to talk to yourself, and it's okay to even argue with yourself. But it's not all right to be like, what the fuck is that guy talking about with yourself? Ooh. All right, dudes. I used to have a little stand. I used to have a little bandsaw box that I used to prop up my phone over there. And I don't know what happened to it. Not quite sure what happened to it. Nice. Is Adam Savage, is that Mythbusters guy? Nice, Harry. If Adam Savage is the Mythbusters guy, I love that guy. Where's that box, dude? Losing my mind. Ooh. All right, guys, I'm going to take this to the belt sander real quick. Wait, for what? To like keep the glue off? Oh. Crushed avocado seeds, huh? Dude, it's worth looking into. All right, I'm going to go to the bandsaw and cut the tiniest little slice off of this thing. All right, let's see. Now I'm going to see if that's enough. I'm going to see if that's enough to make the drawer sit how I want it. Not quite big enough, so I'm going to cut off. I'm going to cut off a little bit bigger slice. This one was too thin. Perfect, dude. That's what I was looking for. It's for the drawer to kind of stick out a little bit. I do actually want to put a little bit of glue in this and then clamp that with a tough clamp here. Just before, kind of preemptive strike, dude. Just so it doesn't give us problems down the road. Damn, that was way too much freaking glue, buddy. Gonna glue this back here. Like that. Dude, it wouldn't be a session unless I got some CA glue on my fingers, bro. In fact, I already have some right there. Let that sit. So like this little block that was the cut out of that drawer, I mean, that could totally be something, right? Let's hang on to it. Yeah, dude, CA glue is, it's like impossible to not get on you. But then my pile of that could be something ends up getting huge, and then it goes into these buckets over here, and then I have to have a bonfire eventually. But yeah, that could totally be something. I used a lot of those. I made trays out of a lot of those to hold my little obsidian and stuff like that. This one? Yeah, see? Exactly. It could be a ring. It could be something. Oh, it could be a ring box like that, huh? Yeah. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So I could put a piece of obsidian up there for the top. Or I could put like a piece of walnut for the top. I guess I could do both of those things, but that'd be a little weird. But like, I could do either this walnut or obsidian. And I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a poll, guys. And you guys can choose what the top piece will be. So, just so you can see what it looks like, this would be the walnut. I'd have to like cut it flat right here, but we can either have a walnut, it can go like that, it can go like that, or we can have this piece of volcanic glass as the thing that pulls the top open. I put obsidian on yours, right, Harry? Yeah, it's pretty strong for obsidian. Yeah, the obsidian looks good with the walnut, dude. The black with the like chocolatey colors of the walnut. Out of obsidian, that would be sick. The thing about obsidian, dude, is it's like it's very, very brittle and it's very sharp. So it's hard to shape it. Like you have to do this technique they call napping, which I don't know how to do. So what I do is I just kind of break big chunks of it until I get about, the size I would want or shape I would want. But yeah, this obsidian comes from like right near my house from the volcano over there. We did have somebody vote for the walnut. We have one vote for the walnut. I could be doing shit while people are voting. I'm standing around. I'm going to take this box over to the belt sander and work some rough edges off of it on the belt sander. I'll put this here. Obsidian or walnut. Oh wow, the walnut. The walnut took over, dude. Wow. That's a shocker. That's a complete shocker, dudes. All right, we're gonna do walnut top handle. Once we get it sanded down, it'll be walnut top handle. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget it. Dang, there's a shocker, dude. Unexpected. That's a close race too. That was 6-5. I'd still use obsidian for the drawer pull. Okay, so I have to actually cut this. I have to use a bandsaw. I usually sand it a little bit to like rough it up to before I glue it, so it's not like glass smooth. That looks sick, actually. That little handle looks sick, dude. I don't dislike that. That looks nice. There's a lot of sanding to do, guys. That was just like my rough sanding there. And there's a lot more to go. A lot of sanding left here. I'm actually going to take it back to the belt sander to get this little edge. Do a little bit more, a little more crack repair, I think, before we go forward. Especially here and there. So, yeah. Also, I want to take off that shit for a second. This isn't actually a crack, so that's okay, but we do have a little one there. I don't understand, how much can do you use of this? What happened with this glue up is that OCA glue. I use a bit. I used the initial glue up I did with this. I did with the Tight Bond wood glue, and it was cold, and so it didn't really like take. So there's a lot of spots where it's coming apart that need to be gone over. So quite a bit. Also, we did the glue up, or we glued this all back together with CA glue too. So I've used quite a bit of CA glue tonight. Land Rover, thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. See you next time, dude. Starbond doesn't react as well to the activator shit. Whoa. It might look good to like engrave and then put the black CA glue in it. That might look good. All right, got that looking good, dude. Got that looking good. This one needs the orbital sander now. And I'll be honest, guys, I'm not up to the orbital sander, dude. My fingers are going numb, so I'm gonna have to complete this one tomorrow night. But really, all that's left is to sand it all the way down to like 180 or 220 grit, and then attach the drawer pull and the top pull that you guys voted on the walnut. And then put some oil on it. So that'll be tomorrow. We'll finish this guy up. But thanks to everybody for cruising by and hanging out, dude. I appreciate it. And also, one more thing, the community tab on this page is for you guys. So if you want to share your work, feel free to share it over on the community tab, dude. And then the gel-filled gloves. Harry, I'll see you. I'll look into the gel-filled gloves, dude, or the shock absorbent gloves. But yeah, I just have to stop, dude, because it's starting to act up, and I just stop for now. Oh yeah, here's a 2x4 boxes. So this one's like a throw it in your wood pile. Nobody realizes that it's a stash box, dude. Put your roaches in there or whatever you want. Anyways, Michael England, good to see you again. Harry, Kevin England, I know you're in there. All you guys, appreciate you, man. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll finish this box up. It'll be good. There's a lot of figure to this wood. You can't see it because it's still rough, but there's a lot of figure in this wood. It's going to look really, really nice oiled. But yeah, good night, guys. Appreciate you. See you later.